Hello my lovely crochet fans. Now, today I'm coming to you with a project of a Grinch scarf, and I know that I've already done this, but I feel like I should do it again. This time I've changed up the picture just a little bit. Now I'm using True Blue and Kobu and True Blue yarn. So this green was Kobu. This was True Blue, and I'm also using True Blue red too. Now I did not get any black, so I'm going to be using this, which I believe is just cotton black yarn. I'm sorry, I don't remember what who it's by. I'm not sure who it's by, but you can use any black that you want, similar to the thickness of the Kobu or True Blue. So now here is the graph that I'm using. This is the graph that I made right here, and we're going to turn this into a scarf. Now I know this is kind of big, so in order for it to be small enough, I'm using a small hook. I am using an E hook. It's a 3.5 hook. I'm using a very small hook. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started, and as you can see, I've already numbered my paper I've numbered it from the bottom and the sides. Remember, you start one here, it's one down here, and you continue going all the way to the end. So my graph has 71. So we're gonna you can pause and go ahead and number your graph if you want to, and of course you're gonna need a pencil so you can cross off which way to go. So back to 16. 16. Okay, so row 16, we're doing this in C2C, so we're doing it corner to corner. So row 16 is where we're going to stop. So I am just going to do this. I'm going to draw an arrow through row 16 here. So meaning you went this way. So the next way we go when we continue on with the pattern is we would go this way. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to C to C, which is corner to corner, from row 1 to row 16, which means you should have 16 little bitty squares. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. We're going to make our slip knot, and we're using again our E hook 3.5, and now we're going to chain 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're just going to half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Half double crochet there. There we go. And now we're going to chain. This is our first block. That's what these are called. These are called blocks. So this is our first block, and we're going to chain 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, now we're going to turn our work. So we want our block to be facing the other way. And now we're going to go ahead and half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. half double crochet, and now we're going to slip stitch right here in this big open space here. We're going to slip stitch right there, and then we're going to chain 2, and then after we chain 2, then we're going to put 3 half double crochets into this little space. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you would just continue on. So now it would look like this. And you have 1, 2, 3 blocks. So now we're going to continue on, and we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we have our work turn. Now we're not chaining, but we're half double crocheting in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be here. Make our half double crochet, and then right here in this space, because this is our space, so these notches are our space, you're going to slip stitch in that space, and then you're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. Then you're going to put 3 half double crochets into that same space. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to repeat that and do it again. So right here there's another notch. So right here you're going to slip stitch, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then you're going to put 3 half double crochets into the space. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so as you can see, I have 3 blocks. So 1, 2, and 3. And remember, you need to have 16 blocks before we start adding any color, because our first color that we're going to add is going to be our black. So 16. So you want to continue doing exactly what I just did. You're going to repeat the steps I did, and you're just going to continue doing the same steps I just did to get to 16 blocks. And I'll even do it one more time. So at the end of this, we chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our work has turned. So now we're going to half double crochet in the 4th chain, which is right here. All right. And then these are our notches, these are our blocks, and on top of them is our chain spaces. So in those chain spaces, we want to slip stitch, then we want to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we want to put 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then again, in the space, you want to slip stitch, chain 2, then 3 half double crochets in the space. So 1, 2, and 3. And then again, slip stitch, chain 2, 1 and 2. And then 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. And now we have 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up my 16 rows off camera. When I get back, we will start doing our black, because our next row is going to be row 17. And as we do our green and go up, we'll run into the black, where we're going to need to put in the black for to start the mouth. Okay? Okay, so now I am all done with row 16. Now we're going to move on to row 17. And now that we've come down here, our arrow's pointing this way, we're going to go up this way. And I have already counted all of my squares, and they come to 11. So you're just going to go ahead and do the exact same thing you were doing before, where you chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and that is our first block. Now we're going to do 11, so this will be our second block. I'm just going to push that in there. So this is our second block. Chain 2. I'm going to do this all the way until I have 11 blocks. Okay, so now that I've finished, not quite finished, but almost finished, this is my 11th block. So what's next is, pull this down some. So what's next are these blocks, which is a 5. I counted these out too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I wrote my little 5 here, so I know that there's 5 of these. So I'm going to bring in my black, right? Okay. So before I finish my last block, I'm going to finish with my black instead of my green. And I'm just going to bring my green yarn along with me, because right here at the end, bring it down some, right here at the end is a green block that I have to do when I get to, when I do 5 blocks here, there's a last one that's green, so I have to bring the green along. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to slip stitch and continue like I normally would. Chain 2 and then 3 half double crochets, and we're doing this for 5 blocks. Okay, now before you finish the last block for the 5th black block, you're going to drop your black and you're going to finish this off with your green. Hold your black back and finish this last block here with green. Chain 2, then 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to turn it, and it should look like this. Actually, this is how it's going to do. This is the bottom. So this right here is the bottom, and it should look like that. That's how it should look right now. So now that we're all done with this, I'm going to draw this line through it, telling me which way I went so I don't get confused later. And it also tells me that I've already done this row. So now I'm on row 18. So there's 1, 2. There are 2 blocks in black in this one. So really, I probably should have brought this along with me. Darn. So I didn't realize. So I'm going to have to take this apart. I'm going to have to bring the black along with me. This up like that. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. Uh-oh, nope. Because before I finish this, I am going to have to use this black to finish it off. Now I'm going to do 6 in black. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'll turn my entire work here. And now I'm still going to half double crochet and 4th chain, and that's 1. And then this one here where we're gonna catch our green and bring it with us will be the 2nd block. 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish that, we're gonna do, because this was 1 and 2, so 2 there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in green. So before we finish, we're gonna go ahead and finish with our green. Hold on. There we go. And then we're gonna do 4 blocks in green. Okay. Now we have 4. So before we finish this, we have 1, 2. We have 2 in black. So we're gonna go ahead and finish with our black. And then I'm gonna do 2 blocks in black. So 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 more. And then 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish that, that was our 2 blocks in black. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 blocks in green. And pretty much you're just going to finish the rest of this in green. So I'm going to finish with my green, and you don't have to bring the black along, because as you see, once we go back, we don't have to do black right away. We don't have to do black until we go back to we'll be doing row 19. So just gonna let that hang, and we're gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of this in green. Okay, so now that I am all finished with row 19, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line through this so I don't get confused as to what row I'm following. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're going to do 9 blocks in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we're gonna half double crochet in that 4th chain, and then that's the 1st block. Now we have to do 8 more. Oh, okay. I have my, wait, 8 or 9. Do I not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I only did 8. I need one more. Okay, 1, 2. Then this is 1, 2, and 3. All right. And then there's only 2 in black, so 1 and 2. Which what I do is, because this is too far away, I take and pull it over. So I finish with this, but I want to make sure not to pull too much. There we go. I'm bringing my green along with me, and then I just crochet over it. And I'm only crocheting 2. There are 2 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to crochet over this one. 1, 2. And before we finish this last one, we're going to go ahead and finish it with our green. And then I'm going to count again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it looks like we're going to need to bring our black along with us, because there is a black square right here that we're going to need to do. So we're going to need to do 7 in green. Okay, so now that's the 7th block, and I'm going to finish that 7th block off with my black, and I'm going to bring my green along with me, because as I can see right up here, the next row is, which is row 20, it starts with green. So I want to make sure I can get to that green. So go ahead and do 1 block in black. 1, 2, and then before we finish this 3rd half double crochet, we'll finish it with green. Now that we've done row 19, we're going to scratch row 19 out. So make sure I'm on the right row. So now we're doing row 20, and we need to see how many blocks there are for row 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 green blocks. 2 blocks in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 blocks in green again. So now that I have my green, we're going to chain 6 in our green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to bring our black along with us. Now we're going to half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, just like normal. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 10 blocks in green. Okay, so before we finish that half double crochet, we have 2 squares that are in black. So we're going to finish this with black. We're going to be bringing our green along with us, and we're going to do 2 squares in black. Now before we finish that black, we're going to finish it off in green, and it looks like we don't have any more black to the end, so we're going to just drop our black. And it looks like we're going to leave our black here. Okay, I'm just going to push that to the side. And now it's 8 blocks in green. Basically, you're just going to finish all the way to the end in green. Okay, so now that we've finished round 20, we are going to go ahead, because our arrow was up here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross out round 20 right here. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do, we're going to row 21. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in green, then 1, 2 in black. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 in green. Okay. So for this one, we're just going to go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Half double crochet in that 4th chain. That's 1. Now we need to do 6 more. Okay. So before I finish my 7th block, I'm going to finish it off with my black, and I'm just going to pull it over. I'm going to make sure it's not too tight. Then we're going to do 2 blocks in black. And I'm going to bring my green along with me. Okay, and before I finish that, I'm going to finish it off with my green. And now we're just going to go ahead. We're not going to be bringing our black along because after these 2 here, we don't need any more black. So we're going to leave the black there. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to finish it off with the green. Okay. So now I finished row 21. So we came from this way. We came from this way, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to mark, I'm going to cross out the row we just did. Okay, now we're on row 22, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 in green, 2 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blocks in green again. So we're just going to go ahead and finish this up. We're going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to half double crochet in that 4th chain, and that's our first block. Now we need to do 14 blocks in green. Right here is where we would bring up our black yarn, because this is block 14 right here. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and now we have 2 blocks in black. So I finish my last half double crochet, half double crochet with black. I'm going to bring my green with me, and I'm doing 2 blocks in black. And before I finish this last stitch as half double crochet, I'm going to finish it with my green. Now I don't need to bring along the black because, as you can see here, we only have green. So we're just going to finish off the rest of this in green. Okay, so now that we are finished with round 22, we started up here, so we're just going to make our line to cross out our row because we've already done this row. Okay. There we go. Now we're on row 23. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 blocks in green, 1 block in black. And then all of the rest of the blocks are in green. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 blocks. So we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and chain. We're going to have double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. Now we're just going to do 5 more of these green blocks. Oh, okay. So this is 5. This is our last one. So before I finish off, I'm going to go ahead and finish it with the black here. Oh, wait. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I have one more. Sorry. It was supposed to be 6, not 5. I have one more block. 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Now I can finish this off. And I'm bringing my green with me, and it's just one block in black. So 1, 2, and then this is 1, 2, and 3. Oh, before I finish that 3, go ahead and finish with our green. Right now, I don't need to bring the black with me, so I will put it to the back, and everything else is in green. Okay, so now that we're done with row 23, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to cross this row out. There we go. And now we're going to do row 24, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 in green, 1 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 in green. So right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 17 in black. So you have to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we have double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. And that is 1. And now we need to do 16 more of these blocks. Okay, so now that we're done with our 17 blocks, I'm going to go ahead and finish off this last half double crochet with our black. So I'm going to go over and do that. I'm going to bring my green with me, and I'm only doing 1 block in black. Okay, now before I finish that half double crochet, I'm going to switch back to my green. I'm going to drop my black because I don't need it right now, and all the rest of the blocks are in green. Okay, now we're going to flip our work because now we are finished with row 24. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross that row out. And now we're going to start on row 25, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 8, 9, because see right here, when you go by, this entire row is in green. So all you have to do is this entire row is in green. So you should have 25 stitches here. I mean, 25 stitches. So you should have 25 blocks, green blocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish this row up off camera. It's just all it's all green. But I do want to say that when you get here, you want to bring this up with you because you're going to need it later. So you want to bring it up when you get here and you get to the green. You just want to bring this up and you want to crochet over it and then drop it down when you are done with this block only, and then continue to keep going. Okay, so I have went ahead and I have finished row 25, and now we're gonna come here and we're gonna do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. So 18 in green, then there's 1 in black, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and that's 7 in green again. So we're gonna go ahead and get started by chaining our 6. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Then we have double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. There we go. And then we have to do 17 more of the green blocks. Okay, so now that we've finished row 17, we got our 1 row in black. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish this last half double crochet in black. And then we're gonna carry along our green, and we're going to do 1 block in black. Okay, and before we finish that, we're gonna finish off that half double crochet in green. Now we don't need black anymore, so we're gonna leave this here. Just gonna drop it and leave it right there, and then the rest of the blocks are all in green. Okay, so now that we're done with row 26, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to cross this row out. Okay, now on row 27. And now we're going to count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 in green, and then we have 1 in black, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. So now we're going to get started on row 27. And now we're going to start with the 7 here. So we're going to chain our 6, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and then half double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. Go. And then we're going to do 6 more of these green blocks. Okay, so now that we've got 7, now we're going to finish our last half double crochet in black, and then we're going to do 1 block in black. So 1 2, and that's 1 2 and 3. Okay, and then we're going to finish that last half double crochet in green. And now we don't need our black anymore because we're doing this 19 stitches, 19 blocks really, and we don't need the green for that. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to make the rest of these blocks in green. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I have finished row 27. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to cross out, we're going to cross out row 27 and make sure I'm staying with the right row. There we go. Now we're on row 28. And I'm going to say this row is all green because I can see, okay, so because if we go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20, and as you see right here, this is 20. there is no block here. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. All right, 28 for row 28. So this one is going to be completely easy because there's no chaining. But once you get to this end, you're going to do like you did before. You're going to pull this up and you're going to pull it up so you can crochet it up. You want to crochet it up because you're going to need it in the next row for the next two. And it looks like for each one that we do here, so for row 28 it's all green, but then for rows 29 and 30 there are 2 black blocks, but then for row 31 it is a completely green block. So right here goes straight through, it is completely black, I mean completely green, sorry. Row 31 is a complete green one. So here, row 29 and 30, there are 2 black rows, and it seems like it continues like that all the way up until we get to, oh wait, what's this? Nope, wrong one. Is it this one? Oh, see, I'm getting off right. So right here, this is row 41. So row 41, till we get to row 41, it just ends up being black, all green. Then there's 1 black, all green, then 1 black and all green. But here, I'm gonna have to show you something different because over here is where we're gonna continue to increase on one side and then we're gonna stop increasing on another side. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows after this. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this row. Row 28, we're doing 28 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll go ahead, put in the 4th chain, have double chain, 4th chain. Now, have 27 more of these green little blocks. So basically just go all the way to the end. Okay, so I have just went ahead and I have finished row 28, and we're gonna go ahead and cross out row 28. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and do row 29, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 blocks in green, 1 block in black, and then we count the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then we have 20 blocks in green. So go ahead and get started, and you're starting from there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 6, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to put 1/2 double crochet in that 4th chain. Now we need to do 5 more blocks in green. I have 1 more to go, but I realized that I said we need to do 5 more. We needed to do 7 more, not 5 more. So this is 2, and then this is the last one. Before I finish that off though, I'm going to go ahead and finish it with the black. And now I'm going to take my green and bring it with me, and we're doing 1 block in black. 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there we go. And before we finish the black, we're going to finish it with our green. And now we're going to leave that green to the side because we don't, I mean not the green, we're going to leave the black to the side because we don't need it anymore. Now the rest of the blocks are all in green. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 29, and now we're going to go ahead and cross out row 29 here. Now we're going to row 30. And in row 30, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 stitches, then 1 stitch in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 stitches in green. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started, and we're going to do 21 stitches. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we have double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. And now we're going to do 20 more of these green stitches. Okay, so now I've done my 21, and I'm going to finish my last half double crochet here with my black, and I'm doing 1 block in black, bringing my green along with me, and that's 1, and this is 2 and 3, and then before I finish that last half double crochet, finish it with my green. And now I'm just going to half double crochet all the way to the end with the green. I do not need the black anymore right now. So we're doing 8 blocks in green. Okay, so now that we have finished, we finished row 30, so we got to start right up here, and we have to go ahead and cross this off. There we go. Now we're on row 31, and I know row 31 is all green right there, so right here at the top there is 31 stitches for row 31. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this row off camera. It's just all green, but remember, when you get here, when you get close to here, you're going to take and you're going to bring this up and crochet over it, then drop it and continue on. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 30. Now we're gonna go, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, not row 30, row 31 is what I finished. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cross row 31 out, because that was all green row. Let's go, hold on. Okay, so now we're doing row 32, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 in green, 1 in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 in green there. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this off, and we're doing 22 rows in black. So chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and half double crocheting in the 4th chain from the hook. And now we're going to do 21 more of these stitches. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished my 22 green blocks. I'm on my last one here, and now I'm going to just go ahead and finish that with the black, and I'm going to bring along my green with me, and we're going to do 1 block in black, 2, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And then before I finish that, I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with the green. Now I'm going to leave that hanging because I don't need the black anymore. And we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of these in green. Okay, so we finished row 32. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross out row 32. Uh-oh. Going off the path here. Make sure I stay where I'm supposed to be. Okay, there we go. Now, we're starting here, and this will be the last time we will increase on this side. So, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 blocks in green, 1 block in black, and let me see, maybe 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 black. Then we have 1 block in white. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the rest are 8 in green. So let's start down here with our 9 blocks in green. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do 1/2 double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. Now we're doing 8 more blocks. Okay, so now that we've finished our 9 blocks, before I finish off that last 1/2 double crochet, finish it with the black, bring my green along with me, and I do 1 block in black. So that is 1, 2, and 3. And before I finish that, I'm gonna finish it off with the green. Then we're going to leave this because we actually do not need it anymore. You want to look ahead, and as you can see, we don't need it. So we're gonna leave it there, and we're going to do 14 blocks in green. Okay, so I'm at 14, and before I finish my last one, now this is where we are going to bring in our white. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to grab your white and you're going to finish that last 1/2 double crochet with that white. Now you're going to hold both of these, the white and the green. You're going to crochet over both of them. You're going to do 1 block in white. And we're going to pull to make sure the white is tight. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and then 3 1/2 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And before you finish that 1/2 double crochet, you're gonna go ahead and finish it with the green. Now, of course, we don't need any more white, so we're just gonna let it hang right here, and we're just gonna finish the rest of the blocks in green. Okay, so I'm finished with row 33. Now, we need to be very, very careful, because what we do not, what we do not want to do is twist up any of our yarn. We want to try to keep our yarn untangled. So the more of these yarns you have hanging, the difficult it becomes to keep them straight. Now, when we get ready to do our next row, which will be row 34, we'll have to do these two here. And when we do these two, you're gonna take this and bring it up and crochet it over it with that. So right now, let's just go ahead and cross out row 33. There we go. And now when we do row 34, when we get back to this end, we will not increase. And I'll show you how to do that when we get there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to round 34. And we're starting way up here for round 34. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna count out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green. We have 2 blocks in white. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Aha. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 in green. It goes straight from the white and all the rest of it is green after that. So round 34, not round, row 34. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna chain our 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to half double crochet, 4th chain from the hook. And now we're gonna do 7 more of the green blocks. Okay, so now that we have our 8 in green, before we finish our last half double crochet, we're gonna finish it with the white. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna carry along our green with us. I'm gonna do 2 whites. So this is 1, okay, and this is 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do another white, and this time we're going to bring along this tail that we had from the beginning of our white. So we're going to chain 2 here, going right over this tail. 1, that's 2, and 3. And then before we finish, we're going to finish it off with our green. And now we don't need the white anymore, so we're going to move it to the back. And then we're going to do the whole thing. The rest of the blocks are going to be in green. And remember, when you get down here to the black, you're going to bring it up. You're going to crochet over it and bring it up so you can use it in the next row. Okay, so I am at the end of row 35 here. So remember I told you that we were not going to increase on this side anymore. So once you're at the second to the last block, here's the last block, you're not going to increase. You're just going to slip stitch and stop. Now we're going to turn our work. And now we're going to be on row 36. So now we need to cross out. We need to cross out row 35 here. Okay. Now, it can become a bit confusing because row 35 here and then up here, it could look like this would be row 34. But we're on row 35. We're going with these over here is where we're going. So now we're on row 36 and we're gonna count out our green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green, 1 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 in green, and then you have 1, 2, 3 in white, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8 in green again. So now we're going to start down here, and to start off this down here, because of course we're not increasing anymore, So basically what you're going to do, we're not going to chain anything on this side anymore. So you're just going to do, it's 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then right here you just go through the space with the slip stitch and then continue on with your blocks. So chain 2 and then 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And now you have ended this side, and this is how big the scarf is going to be. So this is gonna be a pretty big scarf, but it ends here. So it's let me bring it up some so you guys can see. So right here, this is how it's going to end, and it's not gonna get any bigger than this as we go along. So again, we need to have 8. We need to have 8 blocks and green. So that's 1. Okay, so now we have our 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and before we finish this green half double crochet, we're going to finish it in the black, and we're doing 1 stitch, one half, not 1 half double crochet, 1 block in black. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're not going to need this black, so we're just going to lay it down. And now we're going to finish this last one with green. And now we're going to do 13 blocks in green. Okay, so we've got our 13 blocks. Now, this right here, we can bring this up if we want to, or because it's all spread, it's not even together anymore. I'm just gonna cut it right there. Okay, and now before I finish off this block, I'm gonna finish it in white, and I'm bring my green with me. Now we need to do 3 in white, so that's 2. That's 1, 2, and 3. That's 1 block. Then that's chain 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And now we have 1 more. Chain 2, then 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish this off, which we're gonna just drop, finish it with the green, and I would drop that, and now we have 8 blocks and green again. Okay, now this is the end of this side. Now right here we want to keep increasing until we come to the corner. So for this one, we're gonna chain like we're gonna do our slip stitch, but we are going to make our a block here. So we're chaining 2 and putting 3 half double crochets in this chain space. Okay, now we're gonna flip over our work, try to straighten everything out, keep everything from getting tangled. And now that we're done with row 36, we're gonna go ahead down here. I'm gonna cross it off. I'm gonna try to stay within the boxes. Go. Okay, now we are on row 37. Row 37, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green, then 1, 2, 2 in white, 1 in black, then 1 in white, then 2 in green, then 1, 2, 3, 3 in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green here, 1 black there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in green for the end. So we're starting at the top, and since we are increasing on this side, this is where we would chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then 1 half double crochet in the 4th chain, and now we're doing 7 more of these green blocks. Okay, so now we're at 8, and now we have to do 2 blocks and white. So before we finish that last half double crochet, we finish it in white. Gonna bring our green along with me. Now we're gonna do 2 blocks and white. So it's 1, 2, and 3. This is the first block, and this is the second block. This is 1, 2, and 3. Now, before we finish, we need to finish off in black. So the black is all the way down here. I do not like to cut my yarn, so I'm going to go just like this. I'm going to bring it and I'm going to pull it through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it to make sure that it is just right, but not too much of it. Okay, and now we need to do 1 block in black. I'm going to pull it, make sure it's tight, and this is 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish, we need to finish in white. Uh-oh. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. We finish in white. Now we're going to bring all of these with us and crochet over all of them. We need to do 1 block in white. So 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish this one, we don't need the white anymore, so we can let the white hang. But before we finish, we do need our green. So here is this. So we're going to go ahead and finish with the green. And I'm just trying to make sure it's not tangled. And then we're just going to crochet over it. We need to do two blocks and green, if I can get it on the hook. Okay, there we go. Now chain 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And then we have to do 1 more. We're going to make sure we pull on our black so it's not showing so much. And then 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish, we're going to finish with the black. So let me make sure. Here we go. And I'm going to crochet over my green as I go. And I'm just untangling the green. Okay, so now we need to do 3 blocks in black. So that's 1. This is pull green, pull the black, make sure. Okay, this is 2 and 3, and that's the first block we need to do. Then we do this one. Make sure I pull those. Chain 2 and 1, 2, and 3. And then last block in black, 1 and 2, and then 1, 2 and 3. And then before we finish, we want to finish with our green, but I want to make sure I'm not tangling up the yarn. So I finish in green, and now we have 8 blocks in green, and we have the crochet over the black. Okay, let's just make sure. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and before I finish my 8, I need to do 1 block in black. So I'm going to grab my black, gonna finish this off in black, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and put 1 block in black. So 1 2 and 3. And before I finish that, which I'm gonna let hang, because after we finish that block, we don't need any more black. We have green. We have 7 in green. So now we're just gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the blocks in green. Okay, so here I am at the end down here on row 37. Now, I just finished up the last one, because right here we do not increase or anything. Right here, all we do is slip stitch. That's what we do. And then we turn our work. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross out row 37. So let's go ahead and cross out row 37. Here we go. There's row 37. Now we're going to count out for row 38, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. 15 blocks in green, then 1 2 3 3 blocks in black, 2 blocks in green again, then we do 1 block in white, 2 blocks in black, and 2 blocks in white, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 blocks in green on the other end. Okay, so I'm gonna push that up there because we're starting down here. So down here again on this side, we're not increasing. So we're doing, to get this started, we're doing our 3 single crochets. So right in here, yeah, so 1, that's 2 and 3, and then right here is our chain space, which we just slip stitch in, and then we chain 2, and now we're doing 15 green blocks. Okay, so I'm not done with the 15, but I did want to show you. So right here, I am going to grab my black. I am bringing it up with me, and I'm crocheting over it, because when you get to your 15, you're going to need your black to finish this nose up here. So you need to bring the black with you. You're going to have to crochet over it all the way until we get to the 15. Okay, so now we have our 15. Now we have to do 3 blocks in black. So we finish with our black. We're going to bring our green along with us, and we have to do 3 blocks. So chain 2, then 3 half double crochets. So 1 2 and 3, and then this is the second one, and that's 1 2 and 3. That's the last one. 1, 2, and no, that's 2. This is 3. Okay, so now we finish off with our green, and we need to bring our black with us again because we have the one black with the eye. So now we need to do 2 blocks in green. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then okay, 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so those are our 2 blocks in green. Now we need to finish off our green with white. Okay, and we do 1 block in white. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish that one, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish that off with the black. Now we're gonna do 1 block and no, I'm sorry, 2 blocks in black. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we got to do 1 more. So that's chain 2, and then 1, 2, and 3, and pull those. Now we're going to finish our black off with our white, and we don't need to bring the black with us, so we can let the black hang. And now we need to do 2 blocks in white. So 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Now we need to do 1 more. So we chain 2, then 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish that last one, we have 8 blocks. So we don't need the white anymore. We can let that one hang. And we finish off this white block with our green. And now we have to do 8 blocks in green. Okay, so I'm at the end, and I just wanted to show you, because we're here at this end down here, we're going to increase. But as you can see, we're coming to the end. So once we get to this end, we'll be doing the same thing over here, and then we'll be just slip stitching on both ends. So right now, we're gonna slip stitch, but we're gonna chain 2, if I can chain 2. And then we're doing our 3 half double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we're gonna turn our work. And if you take a look at your project, if you've come along with me this far, if you take a look, you'll start to see his lovely eye and face coming along now. So now that we have finished row 38, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross this off. I'm going to cross all of this off. Try to stay inside these boxes. Now, we're on the last one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is our last one at the top here, and this is row 39. So 8 green. Then we're doing our eyebrows here. So 1 black. We probably should have brought our black along with us, but that's okay. Then we have 2 whites. We have 1 black again. Then we have 2 white blocks. Then 2 green blocks, and then 1, 2 black blocks for the nose. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 green blocks again. Then 1 block in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blocks at the end. So now, this is the last time we will be increasing. So I'm going to go ahead and chain our 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to go ahead and half double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. And now we're going to do 7 more blocks. I'm going to try to push this out of the way first. So 7 more blocks in green. Okay, and I'm making sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8. And now we're going to finish this 8 off, this 8th green block with black. So I'm just going to pull it over like I did before. And I'm just going to straighten to make sure it's not too tight. Bring our green along with us. And we're going to do 1 block in black. So that's 2. And this is 3. I mean, that's 1, sorry. 2 and 3. And before we finish that, we're going to go ahead. Oh, Jesus, where'd the white go? Okay. Oh, here it is. Now we're going to go ahead and finish this black block off with white. Now I'm going to crochet over all of this. And we're going to do 2 blocks in white. Uh-oh. There we go. 1 and 2. And this is 1, 2, and 3. And now 1 more. And that's 2 chain, and then 1 half double crochet, then 2 and 3. And now we're finishing this white off with the black because we have 1 block to do in black. So I'm gonna finish this off black. So 1 and 2, and then that's 1, 2, and 3, right? And now we're gonna finish this black off with white. Finish this black block with white, and then we're bringing our black along with us because we needed to do the nose. So we're doing 2 blocks in white. So that's 1. And now this is 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll do 1 more. That's chain 2. And then 1, 2, and 3. All right? That back in there. Now we're going to finish off the white, which we do not need anymore, so we can let that white hang down. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. We're gonna let the white hang down, and we're finishing off the white with our green, and we're doing 2 blocks in green, bringing our black along with us. So 1, 2, and 3. And then again, this is 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to finish off our black. Finish off our green with black. Bringing our green along with us, we're going to do 2 blocks in black. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And then this is our second block. And this is, this is 1, 2, and 3. And then the last, oh, nope, sorry. I forgot. It's only 2 blocks in black. Almost made a third one. So we still need to carry our black with us because we need it for right down here for the mouth. So we're going to finish this in green, and now we're doing 8 blocks. Okay, so now we have our 8. Now we're going to finish off this green with our black, and we're going to do 1 block in black. So that's 2, and then this is 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish off our block, before we finish off our black block, we're going to do it with green. So, and now we don't need the black anymore, so we have to do 6 blocks in green. Okay, so now right here, and you have to be careful as you don't want to keep going, but right here is the end, and we're just going to take and slip stitch. And now if we turn our work, and then we'll be ready for the next row. Okay, so now that we have finished row 39, I'm gonna go ahead to the top here, and we're gonna cross out row 39. Keep going. Okay, now we're on row 40, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 in green, then 1 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green, then 2 in black, then 1, 2, 3, 3 in green, then 1, 2, 3, 4 in white, 1 in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that's 8. Here, we can actually just, so that's 8 in green. So now we're gonna start down here, and we've already not increased anymore, so now we're just gonna go ahead and single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we slip stitch in our chain space, chain 2, and now we do 5 blocks in green. Okay, so now I have my 5 half double crochets, not my 5 half double, my 5 blocks of half double crochets. Now before we finish, we're gonna go ahead and finish with our black because the next block is black. So then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in black, 1 block in black, I'm sorry, 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 half double crochets. And now before we finish the last half double crochet, we go back to green. I am trying not to get this yarn tangled. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that I have my 8 green blocks, before I finish that last block, I'm gonna finish that last block in black. So, and now we're gonna do 2 blocks in black. So it's 1, 2, and 3. That's our first block. Then we have our second block here, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And now before we finish that last half double crochet, we're going to finish it in green. And now we have 3 right here. Okay, so 3 blocks in green. So this is our first block. That's 2 and 3. And then here's our second block in green. So 1, 2, and 3. And this is our third block in green. And that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to finish off this green with white. And of course we're bringing both of these along, and we're doing 4 blocks in white. So this is our first block. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then this is our second block. And this is 1, 2, and 3. Just pulling it just a little bit, make it good. Okay, this is our, this will be our third block. So 1, 2, and 3. And then our last block, which is our fourth block. 1 and 2. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. Now before we finish off the white, which we actually are going to just let this hang now. Try not to tangle anything. We're gonna let that hang because we don't need that anymore after this. We're gonna finish off this white in black. So I'm gonna finish that off in black, and we're gonna do 1 block in black. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And then we're gonna let the black hang because we don't need that anymore. And then we're gonna finish off this last half double crochet in green, and all the rest of the blocks are in green, and that's 8. We have 8 blocks. Okay, so now we're at the very end here, which is right up here at the end, which you can see there's no more here. Now we're just trying to even it out at the top. So again, we're going to do the same thing we did at the other end down here, which is we're just going to slip stitch and turn our work. So I'm turning my work, still trying not to tangle up my yarn. Okay, and now we have, as you can see, we have one eye done. I'm gonna go ahead and clip off this end here. Don't need that. Okay, so that was some yarn at the end of a yarn that was just hanging out. So now you can see you have one complete eye here. So now we're done increasing, and now we're going to be decreasing to finish this off. So now that we have finished row 40, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross out row 40. Okay, there we go. Going off the path. Need to try to stay on the row that I'm supposed to be on. Okay, there we go. Now we're on row 41. Row 41, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green, 1, 2, 3. 3 in black, then we have 1 in white, and actually right here when we get finished, we're completely done with the white for a while, so we can actually cut it off. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in green, then 1 in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14 at the end. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get started, and at the top we have 8, but since we're not increasing anymore on this end, we're going to do this end just like we did the other end, and you're going to do this for each end now, because now we're decreasing. So we're doing 3 single crochets because we're decreasing. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then we're slip stitching into the chain space, chaining 2, and starting our blocks. So it's 8 green blocks. Okay, so now that we have our 8, now before we finish off our last half double crochet, we're going to go ahead and finish it off with the black. Now we're bringing our green along with us, and we're doing 3 blocks in black. So this will be our first block. This is 2 and 3. And now we're on to our second block, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And now our third block, which is 1. This is 1, 2, and 3. And now before we finish off that block, we're going to finish that block off with white. I finished this last half double crochet in white, and we need to do we need to do 1 block in white, and we have to bring both of our yarns with us. So chaining 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to drop that white, and we're going to finish that white off with our green. Now we're going to stop right there for a minute, because this is our last white here, and we're going to cut you want to cut a little bit of a small tail. Okay, and I'm going to just roll the rest of this up, put those scissors back. Now we have 4 blocks in green. Now we're going to grab this white and black and bring it along. We're going to crochet over this. Okay, so that was our 4th block, and now before we finish that last half double crochet, we are going to finish it off with our black, and we're going to continue to keep crocheting over this white too. So 1 block in black here, so that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we don't actually need our black right now. You can drop it, but if you bring it along and drop it here instead of leaving it up here, you won't have to drag it along. So I'm going to bring mine with me. So I'm going to finish off this last half double crochet in green, and I'm going to crochet until I get here, and then that's where I'm going to drop my black and continue on with my green. Okay, and now that that's all finished, I'm going to turn our work, and it's coming along very nicely. Okay, so now we're going to get our paper here, I'm going to go ahead and cross out row 41. Go ahead and just cross this out. Okay, so now we're on row 42, and we're starting down here, row 42, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 blocks, then 1 block in black, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blocks in green, 1 block in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blocks in green, then 1, 2, 3 blocks in black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8 blocks in green. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started on row 42. So we're gonna do our single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're just gonna go ahead and slip stitch. And now we're gonna start, and we got 4 blocks in green. So this will be block 1, and that's 1 and 2, and then and then 1, 2, and 3. That's 2 blocks, and then 1 and 2, and 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 blocks, and this is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now before we finish that, because that's 4 blocks, before we finish this block in green, we're gonna finish it with black. So I'm gonna finish it with the black, and I'm gonna do 1 block in black. So that's just 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we're going to, try not to tangle the yarn. Now we're gonna finish this black off with the green. And now I'm going to do 8 blocks in green. Okay, so now that I have 8, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish this half double crochet off with my black. I'm gonna do 1 block in black. So 1, 2, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm gonna drop the black, and I'm going to finish the black off with the green, and we're gonna bring it along because we've got 3 blocks and black up ahead. So we're doing 5 blocks in green now. Okay, so now we have our 5, and now we're going to drop our green and finish off this with our black. Bringing our green along with us, we're gonna do 3 blocks in black. So this is, it's 1, 2, 3. That's 1 block, and then this is 1, 2, and 3. That's last two, and this is our last one here. And we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're gonna drop this black because we're not gonna use it anymore. We're gonna finish off that half double crochet in green, and I'm gonna finish the rest of this in green, and we have 8 blocks in green. So we're gonna finish this along. Remember, 8 blocks in green. Don't need the black. Don't bring it along. Okay. Okay, so now that we have finished row 42, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna cross out row 42 here. Let's just cross that out. There we go. And now we're on row 43. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks in green. 1 block in black. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 blocks in green. So this row will be a little bit easier. Okay, so we're gonna get started like we did before, and we're just gonna single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to slip stitch, chain 2, and continue on with our pattern, which is 9 blocks in green. Okay, so now we have our 9 blocks. Now we're gonna finish our last half double crochet with our black, and then we're gonna do 1 block in black, and that's 1, and this is 1 and 2. And 3. Before we finish that, we're going to finish that in green. And now the rest of the blocks are all in green, but if you look right here on our next row, we're going to need our black. So from here, we're going to have to crochet over our black and bring it down to right here. So we're gonna bring our black all the way down to here, right here, and we're gonna crochet over it and drop it right here and continue on. So I'm gonna finish this part up off camera, and then when we get back, I'll show you what you need to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished round 43, and I'm just gonna come up here and I'm just gonna cross out row 43. There we go. All right, now we're moving on to row 44. So 1, 2, 3 in green, 1 in black, and then pretty much the rest are all in green. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 stitches, and stitches in green, or half double crochets in green. So now we're going to start from here, and we're going to start from there. We're going to do like we were doing before, where we go ahead and do our single crochets, 3 single crochets, and then we slip stitch, chain 2, and continue on like we were doing before. So this is going to be our first little block, and then this will be our second our second little block. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll have our third block, which is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now before we finish this half double crochet, we're going to finish it with our black, and we're going to do 1 block in black. So 1, 2, then that's 1, that is 1, I'm sorry, that's 2, and then this is 3. Okay, so before we finish this, we want to finish the black and green. There we go. Now, this is what we just did our 1 black block. Now, all the rest of this is 24 stitches in green. There is nothing else. So, we're going to drop that black, and we're just going to do 24 blocks in green. And I am going to go ahead and finish this up off camera, and then when I get back, we will go ahead and we will do row 44. Okay, so I went ahead and I already crossed out row 44. Now we're on row 45, and as you can see here, row 45, there is probably 24 stitches. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so there is 27 this row, because this row has no black blocks. So again, we're just going to go all in green, except for when you get here, you want to grab your black, and of course you want to pull your black up so that, you know, it can be ready for the next row right here, so we can finish off. We're finishing off our mouth. So, oh, let me fix this. Okay, there we go. All right. So again, to get started, we're just gonna do our single crochet. So it's 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then a slip stitch in our chain space. And now we're finishing. We're just gonna go ahead and do it the same way we were doing before, with the 3 half double crochets in the chain space. And now you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna do 27 green blocks. This whole row is in green. And don't forget to pull up your black when you get to it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to finish this up off camera, and when we get back, we'll go ahead and we'll do row 46. All right, so I went ahead and I crossed out row 45. Now we're on row 46, and row 46 is 1, 2, so 2 blocks in green, then we have 1 block in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks in green. And now we're going to be bringing back in our white, so we have 1 block in white because we're starting the second eye now. And then all the rest of the blocks are in green, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So that's 13 stitches in green here. All right. So now we're going to get started just like we did before. Okay, and we're gonna do our single crochets. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and 3 single crochet, and then right into the chain space, and then we chain 2, and we're just doing our blocks. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we need to do a second block. So that's 1 and 2, and then and then 1, 2, and 3. Now before we finish that, we're going to go ahead and finish it with our black, and then we're going to go ahead and do 1 block in black. So 1 and 2, and then that's 1, this is 2, and 3. So we're not going to need our black for quite some time, because when we need our black, we're going to be here in the pupil of the eye right there. So we can just leave this here for now, and now we can finish off with our green. Now since we're going to leave that there, then we're going to do 9 blocks in green. Okay, now this is our 9 blocks in green. Now we're going to be bringing back in our white. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our white, and we're going to finish off this last half double crochet in white just like we did before, and then we're going to do 1 block in white, and then I'm just going to pull everything to make sure everything is nice and tight and secure. And so now we're going to do that 1 block. Okay, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm just going to leave this. I'm just going to let this hang, and I'm going to finish this half double crochet back in green, and then we're going to do 13 stitches, not 13 stitches, 13 blocks in green. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 46. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cross off row 46. Okay. Now we're on row 47, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stitches in green, and 1, 2, 2 in white, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's 11 in green at the end. So now we're going to go ahead and get started on row 47. Where am I? Oh, there it is. Okay. And with row 47, we're doing the same thing before because we are decreasing. So we're starting with our single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then slip stitch, chain 2, and now we begin with our 12 blocks in green. Okay, so now I have my 12 rows, and before I finish this right here, oh no, it's all tangled. I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay, so before I finish this, I'm going to go ahead and finish it with the white as soon as I untangle it. Alright, okay. So I'm going to finish it with the white and bringing my green along with me. I'm going to do 2 blocks in white. So that's 1. And this is 1, 2, and 3. And then another one, so that's 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And before I finish that, I'm going to finish it with green. So I'm going to drop my white, and I'm going to finish that in green. And now I'm going to go ahead and do, what was this? 11? Was that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. So 11 in green. 11 blocks in green. Okay, so I went ahead and I crossed out row 47. We're doing row 48, and it's only 1 green and then 1 black, and then we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks in green, then 1, 2, 3 blocks in white, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. I'm sorry, not 10, 11. That's 11 blocks and green at the end. All right, there we go. So now we're starting off row 48 with our single crochets here. So let's go ahead, and that is 1, 2, and 3, and then into our chain space. And now we're going to do 1 block in green. So 1, 2, and 3. And I really hope that you brought up your black from the last row, because if you didn't, you need to stop right now, undo it, and bring this black up. I finished it and I wasn't supposed to. So now, before we finish, we're going to go ahead and finish it with black, and we're doing 1 block in black. And that's 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish that, we're going to finish it in green. And we're going to need to take along our black, because as we get ready to do the next row, we're going to need black way up here. So it's better to take it with you. Oh, wrong one. Okay. So now we need to do 8 blocks in green. Okay, so now I have my 8 blocks, and right before I finish off this last half double crochet, I'm going to finish it off with my white, and I'm bringing my green and my black with me, and I am doing 3 blocks in white. So this is 1, 2, and 3. It's our first block, and then this is chain 2, then 1, 2, and 3, and then that's our second one, and this is our last one, which is 1, 2, Uh-oh, I forgot. I need to finish the last half double crochet with green. Here we go. And we're gonna leave the white. We're gonna let the white hang, but we're going to grab the black, and now we're just gonna finish off the rest, which was 11 blocks in green. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've crossed out row 48. Now we're on row 49. Row 49 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we have one block in black, one block in white, one block in black, and then one block in white. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks in green, then one block in black and one block in green. So now let's go ahead and get started with this. Okay, and now we're just gonna do our single crochet like we were doing before. Pull that real quick. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and then slip stitch into our chain space, chain 2, and now we're doing 10 blocks in green. Okay, so now we have our 10 blocks, and now we're going to go ahead and we are going to finish off this last half double crochet with our black. Now we're going to be bringing along our green as we do this. Now we're going to do one block in black. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish that off, we're going to finish it with the white. And now we're going to do one block in white. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish that, we're going to finish that off with the black. And we're going to do one block and black. So that's chain 2, and then 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, and 3 half double crochets. And then before we finish that black, we're going to move back to our white, and then we do one block in white. So 1, and this is 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to lay our white down. We don't need our white anymore. And now we're going to move back to our green, but we're still going to be bringing along our black because we still have a black little block right there that needs to be done. So now we're doing 7 blocks in green. Okay, so now I have 7. I have set my 7 blocks. I'm going to finish this last half double crochet in black, and right here I am doing 1 block in black. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my green, and I'm going to do 1 block in green. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm just going to do like that, and there we go. There is row, what was this? Row 48. So we're coming from the top. I'm sorry, no, row 49, not 48. And now we're crossing it out. There we go. Cross that out. Now, looks like we're doing row 50, and row 50 has no black here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in green. There's 1 in white. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks in black. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 blocks. There we go. So I'm going to turn my work just like this. Trying not to twist up my yarn. But now I'm going to go ahead and start my 8 blocks in green. So that's 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and then slip stitch in the chain space, chain 2. Now I'm doing my 8 blocks in green, but since I do need my black, I am taking it with me. So I'm going to chain over it until I get, or have double crochet over it until I get to the space where I need it. Okay, so now I have my 8 blocks, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish off this half double crochet in white, bringing along my green and black. I'm going to do 1 block in white. So that's 1, that's 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to put that down, which really should be over here, and I'm going to finish this off with the black, and I'm going to do 4 blocks in black. So this will be 1, 2, 3. That's our first block. And then chain, and 1, 2, and 3. And 3. Okay, so that's our second block. There's our third block. 1. That's 1. I did not need to do that. I didn't realize it, but I did not need to bring that white along. No, 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 no. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, okay. Sucks to go all the way back. That's why I try to make sure I'm always doing it right. But okay, I don't need to bring along the white. Okay, so going back, that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the second one, and that's 1, 2 and 3. Then we have the third block. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And then this is the last block. Chain 2, okay. Then 1, 2, and 3. And now, right here, the rest of them are all in green. They're all green blocks. So we're going to finish this half double crochet with the green, and now we're just going to go ahead and do our 9 blocks in green. Okay, so I finished row 50, and now we're on row 51. For row 51, we're starting up here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9, right? Okay, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in the right area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Okay. Then we have 1 in black, and then 1 in white, 1 in black, and then 2 in white. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in green, and then 1 in black. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get started on this row. Okay. So we're going to start by going ahead and doing our single crochet. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to slip stitch, chain 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And now we have 8 more blocks to do. Okay, so now we have 9 blocks, and before I finish this last half double crochet, I'm going to go ahead and finish it with the black. I'm going to carry my green along with me, and I'm doing 1 block in black. So that's 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we're going to finish off this one, this last half double crochet with white. We're going to bring our black and green along with us. We're going to do 1 block in white, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish that, we're going to finish that in black, and then we need to do 1 block in black. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish this off in white, and we're going to bring our green and black with us, and we're gonna do 2 blocks in white. So this is 1, 2, and 3, and that's our first block. Now we're doing our second block, and that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, before we finish that last half double crochet, we're going to finish it in green. Now we don't need our white anymore, so just let that fall to the back. Now we're going to go ahead with our green. We're going to bring our black along with us because we need our black here, and we're going to do 6 blocks in green now. Okay, so now I have my 6 blocks in green. Before I finish that last half double crochet, finish it in black, and I'm not going to bring my green along with me because as you can see right here, we have another black on the next row, so black and black. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 block in black. So that's 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And now I'm just going to turn my work. There we go. Now that we've finished this, we started up here, so we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna cross out row 51. There we go. And now we're gonna do row 52. So 1 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in green, then 1, 2, 3 in white, then 1 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 blocks. There we go. Row 52 at the end is 9 blocks. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead. And we're going to get started with row 52. So we're going to do the same thing we did before, which is our slip stitch. So just 1, 2, and 3. Wait, is that right? Yeah, and 3. Okay. And then we go into the chain space with the slip stitch, chain 2, and do our 1 block in black. Okay, and before we finish that, we're going to finish it with green, and we're going to bring our black along with us. Now we're doing 6 blocks in green. Okay, and now we have our 6 blocks. Now we're going to finish this half double crochet off with the white, because now we have 3 blocks in white, and we're bringing along our black and our green. So we're going to do 3 blocks in white, and this is going to be our first block. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then here is our second block, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And then our last, oh no, we don't need you to go back down there. Okay, hold on. There we go, and this is our last block in white. If I can get it to do what I need it to do. 1, 2, and that's 1, 2, and 3. And then before I finish this one, which we're going to let the white hang because we're not going to need any more, we finish off the white with the black. There we go. And we do 1 block in black. So that's 1 and 2 chains, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and before we finish this one, we'll finish it off in green. And now we've got 9 blocks in green. Okay, so I went ahead and finished row 52. Now we're going to go ahead and cross out row 52 all the way. All right, now we're on row 53. For row 53, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 blocks in green, 1 block in black, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks in white, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 blocks in green. So now when we're done up here, we don't have to bring our black down or take it anywhere with us. Okay, so now we're going to get started and we're going to do our single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then a slip stitch and 2 chains. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do green 8 blocks in green. Okay, so now I have my 8 blocks in green. Now we're going to go ahead and finish this half double crochet off with the black, and I'm going to bring my green along with me, and I'm doing 1 block in black. So that's a chain 2, then 3 half double crochets. So 1, there we go, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to finish this off with the white, and I can just let the black hang now because we won't need it for anything else now. So finish off the black half double crochet with the white, bring our green along with us but not our black, and we're doing 3 blocks in white. So that's chain 2, and that's 1, 2, and 3, and then that's chain 2, and that's 1, 2, and 3, and then we chain 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And before we finish that white, which we're going to let hang, we go back to our green and finish that stitch with our green. Now we have 7 blocks in green. Okay, so we went ahead and we finished row 53. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cross out row 53. So now for row 54, we're starting here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks in green, then 2 blocks in white, 1 block in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is 8 blocks in green. So now we're going to go ahead and start just like we've started all the rest of them, which is with our single crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then slip stitch in the chain space, then chain 2, And now we do our our 7 blocks in green. Okay, so now I have my 7 blocks, and now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish the 7 blocks with a white. I'm gonna finish off that last half double crochet with white. And now we're going to do 2 blocks in white, and we're bringing our green along with us. So 1 and 2 for the chain, and then 1, 2, and 3, and that's our first block. And now we have our second block, 2 for the chain, then 1, 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish off the white, we're going to finish it off with our black. And we're not going to need the white anymore, so we're going to leave that to the side, and we're going to finish with our black. Now we're going to bring our green along with us, and we're doing 1 block in black. So that's chain 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And now we're going to drop our black because we're not going to need that anymore. And now we're finishing off with our green. And now all the rest of the blocks, which is 8 blocks, I'm going to do the 8 blocks in green. Alright, so I went and I finished row 53. Now, I mean, not 53, 54. So we're going to cross out row 54. There we go. Now we're starting from this end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 blocks in green. There's 1 block in black, 1 block in white, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's 7 blocks in green. Okay, so we'll get started like before with our 3 single crochets. And that's 1, 2, and 3. Then our slip stitch in our chain space, then chain 2. Now we can go ahead and start on our 8 blocks in green. Okay, so now we have our 8 blocks in green. Now again, before we finish off this last half double crochet, we're going to do it in black. And we're bringing along our green with us, and we're doing 1 block in black. So that's a chain 2, and then 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochet, and 3 half double crochet. But before we finish this black, we're going to do our 1 block in white. So we finish with the white, and we're going to drop the black. We don't need to bring the black with us, just the green. So we do our 1 block in black, and that's 1, 2, and 3. Now before we finish that, we're going to finish with the green. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off this white, because we are now completely done with our white. So we can take our white, we can cut it off, and then we can just roll up what's left and put it to the side. Completely done with our white. That means the white in our eyeballs are done. So now we're going to crochet over this white tail here, and we're doing 7 blocks in green now. Okay, so now I finished row, what was this? Row 55. So now we're just going to go ahead and cross out row 55. Okay, now we're doing row 56. On row 56 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in green, 1 in black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 after that. Okay, so now this one should be very easy, and I'm just gonna pull that to secure it, and I'm going to cut off this white here. There we go. Put that back. Now we're gonna start this row just like we started the rest of the rows with our single crochet. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and then a slip stitch, and now we're going to do 7 blocks, right? Yes, 7 blocks in green. So now I have my 7 blocks in green. Now we're going to finish off this green with our black. So I'm going to do like that and finish it off. I'm going to bring our green along with me, and we're doing 1 block in black. So it's 2, and then this is 1, 2, and 3. And then before we finish that, I'm going to finish it with our green. Now we are completely done with our black, so we can go ahead and we can chop off our black. We can cut it off, wrap that up, put that to the side. Now from here on out, finishing up this row, which you're gonna just do green blocks all the way to the end, finishing up this row and continuing on until you get to the very end of your C2C, your corner by corner here. So you're gonna get to another corner here. Once you do that, you're gonna do it, once you're done with this row, you're gonna do all the rest of this in green. It's just a simple corner to corner, all in green. There's no more adding any colors or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up this row and the rest of my rows off camera. When I come back, or when I'm done, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next to make our Grinch look like he is wearing a Christmas hat. Okay, so now that we have gone ahead and we have actually finished our actual Grinch, what we're doing now is we're going to go ahead and make the white part that goes on top to make the rim of our Santa hat that's going to go on top of this Grinch. So in order to do that, I have taken a ruler to see how tall I would like the white rim for our Santa hat, and I think 10 stitches would be wide enough for our Santa hat here. So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to corner to corner until I have 10 stitches. I mean, not 10 stitches, 10 blocks, 10 blocks, 10 rows. So we're just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're just going to half double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. And then we're going to chain 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to we're going to half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. There we go. And we're just going to slip stitch here, chain 2, 1, and 2, and then we're doing 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Turn our work, half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. There we go. Then we just slip stitch here, chain 2, 1, and 2, and then we're putting 3 half double crochets here. 1, 2, and 3. And then again we slip stitch, chain 2, then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now you're going to do this where you have 10 blocks. I have 1, 2, 3 blocks here. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish up my 10 blocks off camera, and then when I get back I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so now I have my 10 blocks. I have row 10 here. Now what I want to happen, as you can see I have it here, what I want to happen is I want one side to go straight while the other side will keep increasing. So maybe, okay, so this side, like this, I want this to start going this way, and one side to keep increasing to raise it up, but not make it any wider than what it already is. So in order to do that, right now what we would do is we would just simply do single crochets here to, like, we're at the end. We're going to end this. We're going to decrease this. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go ahead into the slips. We're going to slip stitch into our chain space and chain 2, and then we're going to half double crochet 3 into this space. That's 2, and this is 3. Now we're just going to continue because that was our first block. And as you can see here, if I lay this down, we have started to make it go like this. So right here we just continue on making our blocks to the end. Okay, so now that we're at the end, we're going to always do our single crochet on this end. So the single crochets, then we'll slip stitch and continue on with our blocks like normal. When we get to the other end, we want to slip stitch, but we want to chain 2 and we want to increase on this side. So it's 1, 2, and 3. We want to increase this on this side, so we're going, when we start our new row, we're going to chain 6. So that's 2, 3, wait a minute, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do the same thing we did before, which we're going to half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then we'll go ahead and we slip stitch and chain 2 and go ahead and begin your making your blocks. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm going to go ahead and do mine off camera, but you want to continue to increase on this side and decrease on this side. So that way it's going to kind of go like this. And you're going to make it the length of this. What you're going to do is you're going to have to put it up against the Grinch that we made earlier to make sure it is the exact same length. So because we want to, because here, okay, I'm going to lift this up real quick. Move that to the side, move this to the side. Now, so this is our Grinch here. And what we're doing is, this right here would be our, this would be the white part of the Santa hat. So we'll be sewing these two together when we're done, but you want to make this the same length as this. You want to keep going. Okay, so you're going to continue this here, which is going to look like that. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that. So there, this, it's gonna go like this. So you're gonna start this over here like this. This is how it would be right here, and you would continue it all the way across. Now I went ahead and I measured, so 10 rows from where you are on here is where you need to start decreasing, because we only did 10 on here, and it's not going to get any bigger than 10 rows. You're just going to keep increasing up. So when you get to about 11 inches, you're going to need to start to decrease, and we know how to do that because I showed you during the Grinch. You're just going to do your single crochets and then your slip stitches and then your chain 2 and continue on with your C2C pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish that up off camera, and then when I am done and I have gotten to my 11 inches, I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll go ahead and we'll decrease together. Okay, so now that we are done with our white and we have actually single crocheted it to the Grinch part, we're going to go ahead and start with our red. Now we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing we did with the white, except this time we're going to make this one just a bit bigger. So this time we're going to go for 20 rows. So we're just gonna start up like we did before. And we're just gonna start by chaining our 6. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. And then we're half double crocheting in the 4th chain from the hook. And then we're chaining 6 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're turning our work, chaining in the 4th chain from the hook, half double crocheting in the 4th chain from the hook. Then we slip stitch in our chain space, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then 3 half double crochets in the chain space. Okay, so you're just gonna repeat that 20 rows of these little blocks. I'm gonna go ahead and do mine's off camera, and when I get back I'll tell you what we need to do next.